We honor our Patreons.
Hollymac79, Johannes Borg, Chris Katulka,
Joe Saporito,
Denise Hill,
Cosmic Mom.
Hello and welcome back to the Captain's Quadrant. Our special guest will be joining us shortly. He's having a little bit of a technical issue, but while we are awaiting him, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from Jason Roy Gaston.
Greetings, Captain's Quadrant. I am on vacation, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of the last Outpost. First of all, this was the first appearance of the Ferengi, and what did the writers decide to do with them? Make them look like hyperactive goblins hopped up on pixie sticks, dressed in dollar store pirate costumes, and whips. Yes, whips, because apparently 24th century space aliens never got past their Indiana Jones phase. Oh, this was supposed to be Starfleet's new big villain race, but instead we got a group of shrieking man-children doing interpretive dance on a rock. You don't fear the Ferengi in this episode, you pity them. You want to send them juice boxes and a nap schedule. And speaking of rocks, let's talk about that planet. Planet Beige. It's just a lot of standing around while a glowing Gandalf statue judges everyone like a disappointed dad at a middle school science fair. Riker has to solve the world's driest escape room while quoting someone like a college sophomore who just skimmed on Art of War for a poli-sci paper. Meanwhile, the Enterprise is stuck in orbit doing a whole lot of nothing. Everyone just kind of stands around on the bridge pretending that they're in danger while Troy says vague, useful things like, "I sense confusion!" And Worf tries not to punch the console out of boredom. This episode had the pacing of a broken Roomba and the excitement of a mandatory HR seminar. It was so bad, even the writers were like, okay, maybe the Ferengi shouldn't be our big bads, and dump them into comic book relief faster than you can say rules of acquisition. To sum it up, the last Outpost is the galactic equivalent of showing up to a knife fight with a sock puppet who screams and tries to sell you vacuum cleaners. I hate this episode. Thank you.
Yes, that was from our Jason Roy Gaston. And while we wait for our special guest who will be joining us shortly, what is going on? Let's chat with the group. You guys can call in now. I'll put that number here. You can call in. That is available to you at any moment. Just give us a call. Dial that number. Dial that number. We got some friends here in the group. Let me hit that up. What's going on, guys? I go to the top. We got Chris Katulka. What's up, buddy? Good evening from Leticia. And we've got, I'm doing well, thank you. Good evening, Juanes. Juanes, it's good to see you. Hey, Chris. Engage. You know, the call signs or the ship engagement currently, hit it is cool and let's fly, okay, but they don't really have like engage or anything really wild anymore, which is kind of weird, but you know, that's what it is. That's right, it's time for the quadrant, time for the Pokemon. John Seymour, what's up, dude? Hello. Oh, we have our first caller. Hello, can you hear me? How are you? Oh, wait. We got to get you on the setup here. Hold on. I got to switch because it's the magic world of technology. We got our caller here. One second. All right. Hello, can you hear us?
The music playing.
There we go. How are you?
I'm not bad. How are you?
Good. Who is? Oh, is this My Figure Universe?
This is My Figure Universe.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I am not bad. I'm calling to defend this episode.
Oh, okay. Can't go wrong with that.
Okay. So, hold on a second. My wife is informing me that she can't hear you because I muted the TV. So
it's a separate, distorted world.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to have, like echo. Exactly. So, anyway, basically what I wanted to say is I wanted to defend the episode. I wanted to call in and say, yes, the episode is atrociously laughable in many ways. When they finally do get down to the planet and you meet the, guardian of whatever he is, yeah, maybe that's probably takes a little long to get there. But I want to tell everybody this. Take the episode as it is, love it, hate it, whatever you want to do. Do yourself a favor and get the video game Star Trek Resurgence. It's very cheap. It's very affordable, but it's very good. And you can play the game multiple different ways. It's think of it like a Telltale game. You make the decisions, and whatever way you go changes the result of the story. But it is a direct sequel to this episode. And it makes it gives a better, how do I put it? I'm trying to think of the right word here. You understand the reasoning behind the alien on the planet better. I don't want to spoil it.
No, you're good.
But no,
you're good.
Yeah, I really.
It's a 40-year-old episode.
No. You misunderstood. I don't want to spoil the game.
Oh, the game. Gotcha.
Yeah, because like I said, the game is a sequel / prequel to this episode, and it really does help you understand and feel better about this episode. Like if you play Resurgence, you would see this episode in a whole new light.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, like, I get like what Jason said. Totally agree with everything he said. I agree if anybody hates this episode, they think it's silly and the Ferengi are terrible. I get that. But man, there's some really good parts that mean more once you play the game. And I recommend it. It's on Steam, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation. Go pick it up. It's less than $20.
Oh, you can't beat that.
You won't, no, you won't regret it. I promise.
Okay.
But that's it. I'm done. You get back to your show. Enjoy everything.
Hey, man, thanks for calling in. I appreciate you. Our guest, he's firing up his iPad. He should be joining us in very soon, and it's going to be a lot of fun. My Figure Universe, you're the best. We always wish you all the greatest, and you live long and prosper, my friend.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was My Figure Universe. Oh, it even does the beeping sound. Our special guest is going to be joining us in a second, but let me finish off in the room. John Suddenly Seymour. Oh, hi. Well, hi. Good to see you. I actually wore my glasses so that I wouldn't be. Oh, we got another call. Hello.
Well, hello there. Good evening.
Oh, well, look at this. It's George Takei joining us. What is going on?
That, I must say, as much fun as I had doing George Takei the last time, it's actually Greg, and didn't that sound more like Dracula at the top there than George Takei?
a little bit. Well, hello there. Oh, but it was pretty good. Oh, there we go. We got.
Yeah, I'm out of practice. Look, there's no denying this episode is a mess. It's vintage first season TNG, but what I do love about it is like what you could love about any debut of any character or property in any franchise. And that's the evolution of the Ferengi, because quite frankly, the Ferengi, because of Quark, evolved into something pretty cool in Star Trek.
Very true. Very true. All right,
yeah.
Greg. Thank you so much. We got one more caller. Hold on. Hello.
Hello, Joe.
Oh, wow.
I understand that you are co-hostless right now.
No, that is not true. Pat has arrived. What's going on?
I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
I
was going to swoop in and...
Oh, all right. All good.
I was going to swoop in and rescue, but I guess I'm not needed anymore.
You're always needed, buddy.
Yeah, so I will once again join you in about 4 weeks.
All right. No, not 4 weeks. Next week. Next week. All right, dude.
5 weeks, then.
No.
Right.
1 week.
Have fun, guys.
Bye. Well, welcome, my man. How are you, Pat? What's good?
I'm doing good, man. I I think it's the end of my laptop. I think it was today that it happened. So,
Wow,
RIP.
of all times, yeah.
Then I frantically broke out the iPad. I misspelled my own last name on the
Nice.
cry out here. Yeah, so I'm doing great. I changed to Pat Sirius. I figure I'd go, I'd go stellar in honor of Star Trek. I'd put a star down.
There you go. There you go. Everybody, welcome Pat. He is from the Lie, Cheat, and Steal Hysterical podcast with himself and Kath Barbadoro. Be sure to go over there and subscribe, and we're going to have their links in the show notes. You guys just started your YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's been about a year. We've been dropping stuff on YouTube and doing live video, and I think when you stay after it, it goes really good. And then like there's like a month where you're just like you slack off on it, and you see those numbers drop, and it sucks. But
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, well, welcome, man. You're in the agony booth where we're looking at the harder to watch or less funny episodes of Star Trek, those filler episodes that,
it was really interesting whenever I go back and watch something that was written like pre-streaming, because I forgot how shows used to write to commercial breaks.
Yeah,
and there would be like a bunch of little mini cliffhangers like sprinkled throughout the episode, and I was like, man, you just don't see that anymore.
Yeah. You don't. Well, we're gonna find out what's behind that door. And then it's like, wow, guess what? Nothing was behind the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was just it's just so funny. It's like shows never have like moments like that, because what are they gonna break for? They break at the end of the episode. That's
yeah, exactly. Unless they're on Amazon. Amazon screws you either way.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I hope that the proliferation of commercials back into streaming will bring back like first, second, and third act commercial break structures. Like that's
that would be hilarious.
Yeah, call me a sucker, man. I like the old shit.
I love that old shit. Oh well, let's hop into the episode. We're gonna get into the synopsis. I wore my glasses just so I could seem professional.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
All right. The Enterprise makes a confrontational first contact with the piratical Ferengi race as their two ships are ensnared by a presumed dead planet ready to judge them. That's when the old Gandalf comes out at the end. I've got a sword thing.
Oh really? Okay. Yeah. I was excited to watch this. I love the Ferengi, and it is funny. Like I'd never seen this before. I never seen the first iteration of the Ferengi, it is way different because as the show goes on, they're like conniving and cunning and smart and crafty. Here they were like chimp-like, damn near. It was pretty rough. Yeah. They were like all moving around and shit. I was like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get it right into it. WTF did we just watch? Yeah, we can't be dropping live old man balls on the show because copyright issues from YouTube. So gotta blur that out. Yeah, WTF did we just watch? This is what we talk about. Just a quick, what the hell did they think of when they did this episode? And like you said, the Ferengi were terrible. They were supposed to be, Jason had a rant that he did right before he came on. They were supposed to be the new top villain of TNG. Yeah. They were going to be these badass, like little dwarf monsters.
Yeah.
And they shit the bed, I think.
Oh, for sure. I love how they tried to give them a historical analog, and like they're like Yankee traders, and it was like, we all know damn well that there's several negative stereotypes at work here. That which is I understand. Like time went on, that was like the Ferengi became offensive for like other reasons.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck were they thinking when they came up with those suits? It was like fur, and then they had like I was like, what is going on? It was like a jumpsuit and then like a fur vest hoodie thing.
Yeah, I love how they just like cemented like the cultural superiority of the Federation over, because like this godlike being was like, hey, Riker, I like the cut of your jib. You're a really smart guy, and it's like sidestepping the chimp-like Ferengis.
Yeah, he just went right around.
Yeah.
Damn, we don't even get respect on desert planets, man. Nobody gives a crap about us. This is crazy. Yeah, it boggles my mind when I go back and watch this. First of all, when you watch it on Paramount Plus, they do give you like the upgraded high render version.
Yeah, so I'll watch it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I went and I watched it on Tubi just to go back and see that Vaseline screen where it's like,
yeah,
for whatever reason, it only fits in the box of the center of your television, and it's like they just had the little kids just keep touching the lens.
Yeah, just go wipe that shit, please.
Yeah.
What's so funny because like I used to like, so I lived in Germany as a kid, and we had our military bases, so we had the American TV stations, and this shit would come on right around the time my grandma was cooking dinner. So I just remember like always I would sit down and I would watch it, and so I loved the show. But my mom, at the time, it was so funny watching it like what I just watched right now, where I was like, damn, this is really cheesy, super low budget. The acting ain't all that there yet. But I do remember like as a kid thinking it was like almost not avant-garde, but I thought it was like very high quality.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a super high quality TV show, and I just remember like looking at it and be like, damn, my mom and my grandma were just sitting there like cooking dinner, and I'm watching this, and they were like, and I just remember they were always like, turn that off, that sucks. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is incredible. And like,
see, this is modern age technology. Look at the ship. Look at these ships.
Yeah. And I went back and I was watching. I was like, oh yeah, no shit. Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, turn this off.
This is not good for you at all. Like, so here's a 2B version of what was going on. Like when you watch it on Paramount Plus, this shot looks incredible.
I was gonna say that was one thing I noticed. I kept some little notes, and I was like, the ships look way better. Yeah. I remembered, but apparently that's not what they look like.
No. When we watched this as kids, man, this looked like this. It was like what? Yeah. But still, like this is the era of like 8-bit Mega Man. So to us, this is like holy shit, man. Things are never gonna get better than this. Yeah. This is peak TV, man. It'll never go. And then you see that, and you're like, oh no, no.
It is crazy how a lot of CGI is getting worse now.
Yeah,
like which kind of sucks. Like I've watched some recent Marvel thing, and I was like, "What the fuck am I looking at? This is really bad." But meanwhile, like you watch like the X-Men, the first X-Men movie, and it like looks fantastic. There's like great special effects shots. And I think it's because they're using it so much now that like they're just strapped, so it looks bad. I don't know, but
you know what I heard is like the amount of time they had to make those X-Men movies was longer than the time Marvel had was to cut it's cookie cutter. It's like
just crank it out. Yeah. So that probably makes sense. Yeah, I know they say like they talk about the amount of hours it goes in like one special effects shot is like insane.
Yeah, for this guy to move his hands, that cost $20,000.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. Oh man,
dude, I get so mad when I think about the amount of money they waste on TV and movies now, where they're like $200 million budget, did $70 million first weekend on streaming a month later, and you're like, what? How are we just flushing these large amounts of cash right down the fucking toilet?
Yeah, like the other star, they just dropped Andor. It was like, and it was weird because they dropped like a bunch of seasons, like a bunch of episodes at once, so it was like over in 2 weeks, and like what the fuck? But apparently that's the highest like watch thing on Disney Plus, and it's the most expensive thing ever. I think it was like 200 million. So you're like,
that's insane. I've heard it's really good. I was way more connected to the Star Trek world as a kid than I was Star Wars. Because my dad didn't fuck with Star Wars, but he liked Star Trek. So like at the time, Star Wars, I just knew them from the toys. I never seen the movies when I was a kid. The toys were honestly kind of lame compared to like what was out in the 90s. There was like Spawn action figures and stuff. So Star Wars toys looked kind of lame to me. So I gravitated towards Star Trek. Yeah. So that was always my jam.
No, I hear you. For me, it was a family thing because my mom's African American. Turns out, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
but it's like, shit, I thought you were Puerto Rican. But yeah. So because my grandfather was one of the first, not the first, but one of the first Black lieutenants, he always like mirrored himself with Uhura because he was like, she's just like us, and we have a future. So in the house, it was always we were watching Star Trek, and my dad actually is German, and recently became a citizen because of some president that we have now. Anyway, and he was into all that stuff, but he was more philosophical about everything. He was like saxophone in the woods. It's just a weird guy. But
that's so funny because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was like, my dad was like, my dad loves Star Trek. And when I started, like, I remember there was an episode where I had no clue what communism was, anything like that. But I remember there was an episode where they were like, and they were talking, I think they were talking, it was a time travel episode of Next Generation. They were talking to some time traveler. And Picard was like, "Oh, in the future, we've eliminated the need for money." And I remember that sounded really novel and cool to me. So I was like, my dad was working one day, and I'm just like around him, just blabbering off the mouth how I normally did. And I was talking, and I was like, "Yeah, in Star Trek, they got rid of money. So you don't have money that is like better this way." And so my dad hears me describing communism, and my dad's like, he's a chill guy, but he's not that chill. And he was just like, "Nah, that shit doesn't work, man. It doesn't work." It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fly through space for no fucking money? And I was like, "Well, they're doing okay.
It works for them. Look how big that ship is, man. Look at this cutting edge technology, Dad. Come on. Yeah. Come on, Dad. Let's go."
Yeah. Look how that bald man carries himself with such dignity. Like that can only be unlocked with the powers of communism,
Exactly. Only those commies would get that.
Yeah, would allow human dignity to flourish in such a way.
Oh man.
But I was obsessed, man. I used to draw like my own starships and shit. Like I was a big Star Trek kid. Next Generation specifically.
Oh wow, look at that. Perfect. So this was the right episode for you. This is our season finale. So you're closing us off for as we get ready to do Strange New Worlds, the newer stuff where the technology is supposed to be better.
Yeah, so there are some of them like set in the past, but the technology is better. Like
That's exactly like next week we're gonna watch the Strange New Worlds, but it's in the past. It's 100 years before this, but it looks way better.
That's funny. Which I never watched any of the newer ones. I watched Deep Space Nine when it was out, and then I watched Voyager. Voyager was cool because Voyager came out. I was able to see I felt like I was just coming online as a person when Star Trek was like already halfway through. I was like 6 or 7, so to me it had just always been there. And then Voyager, though, I got to see Voyager start. It was like, oh, cool, it's like my own to watch. And I don't think I ever actually finished it, but I was like, I liked Voyager as well. When does Scott Bakula land in the timeline?
Scott Bakula is right after Voyager, but he's 150 years before TNG. So he's 50 years before Kirk. And he's 150 years before Picard.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what's up.
Yeah. That's interesting. I never saw anything past Voyager. That's
man,
I tap out.
Yeah. There's some hits or misses. A lot of agony booths on this channel with Scott Bakula. It was the first Star Trek to get canceled since the 1960s in mid-its run.
Oh, was it the Bakula one?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. I think at that point, not even knowing what the series is going to be like, I was like, nobody's going to watch this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was a problem. Nobody watched it.
This is going to be like a surprise hit where it's just like Scott Bakula's back, baby. Like,
no.
He's saving Star Trek.
No. It bombed. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
But, I mean, later on, you get an appreciation for it because they did do a lot of like cool stuff in it, and there's a lot of big actors that, as Trek goes on, everybody loved. But when it first came out, it was a hard hit because it's like, why are they going backwards? I remember that whole backlash. And that was before the internet was really like, like amazing. Like
it was handwriting. Like what is this?
No, Scott. Put it in the mail. But
a really interesting thing that I saw that I liked was Data. Was like watching Data because when I was a kid. Like it worked. It sold me on the whole universe. It all looked so good to me, and like in my memories and shit. And I'm watching Data, and I'm like, oh, this is like a community theater guy playing an android. It's not bad. I still really enjoyed it. I watched the first one, and then the reason I was like so late setting up was because the next episode after it started, I was like, fuck it, I'm locked in, dude. So I watched 2 episodes of the original series of Next Generation today. But like it was interesting watching that also with the Chinese finger trap. It took the paint off his fingertips.
I was like, what the hell? What are we watching here? You guys don't put the Chinese finger cups on him. You're gonna take the paint off. Or at least put silicone so it doesn't rub off. Like, come on.
So I was like in my head, I know nothing about being a prop master, but I was like, that guy was on lunch that day for sure.
Yeah, that guy was definitely out to lunch for sure. So let's go into why would they do that. Yeah, I hope you weren't thinking we were really like, thank you. Yeah. He's like, I hope he doesn't think we're like really on the nerd edge of this.
No, yeah. That's great. I love a good fart. That's fantastic. Man. I worked on my construction job and working side by side with this very nice, very devout Christian guy. He's one of those like those few people you meet in your life where like you're like, oh, you're a Christian because you're a good person. Like you want to be a good person. Like he's one of those guys. So he doesn't know shit about comedy. He doesn't know nothing about the cultural zeitgeist. The last movie I think we can really relate on is Dumb and Dumber. And but if you've ever seen that guy, Comedy Bagel, on fucking Instagram, he's a guy who walks around Washington Square Park with like a really good fart machine and does these like fart things. And I just like after a couple days of like plumbing this guy to find out what we could talk about, that came up, and he's like, I love that guy. I was like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, a public farter, dude. Yes, I'm a big fan of a fart. Sorry, I'm going to go for that. But,
yeah. Oh, man, me too. There's a lot of if you watch some of our other episodes, when you come back next week and watch on your own, guys, we're gonna have a lot of farts. There's our first segment is started off with a fart. So
hell yeah,
it's Fart City over here. But so why do they do that? Now we know that they were trying to differentiate themselves from the original series, so they wanted to come up with a new bad guy that was a pirate like the Nausicaans, evolved like the Romulans, and maybe almost warrior like Worf and the Klingons. But instead, they got this measly, wormy little species that like nobody took seriously. Even though they kind of even got the upper hand of Data with the whips, which I was like, okay, that's impressive. They got like Data to freeze. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they did a good job of like giving them some gravitas for sure.
Yeah,
I really like the gag when he brought up and the Ferengi was like, oh, sorry, you guys are repulsive to me. That was really funny.
Looking at you because you're so gross. Yeah.
I remember watching. I was like, man, I bet everybody broke on set when they did that.
They probably died. They probably died laughing.
The wild ass over the shoulder shot where he's doing the video call.
Yeah.
It's like the 2/3 profile from the back,
right?
And it's just like his nose. Like,
it's like real close. Like, that
was jarring.
It was.
I also forgot Troy, the empath. I do not remember her having an accent. Does she lose that as the season goes?
Yeah, she is British, and like when you go meet her, I've been to several conventions. And it's back, but I feel like it comes and goes. It's like. Yeah. My co-host is from Texas as well.
Yeah.
And I hear it once in a while, his accent. And they're like, are you sure you're from Texas? So I guess it's the same thing with her. Are you sure you're British?
Yeah. Have you really thought about it? Because now we're doing amnesty. You can back out of being British right now.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Man. That was very funny. They did that also with Scarlet Witch in the Marvel.
She had like a Russian accent.
Yeah, she showed up and it was like, Russian. Like, I remember this I watched the new Rock Stars breakdown guy, and he was like, I have a suspicion that accent will be nowhere to be found in one movie.
Boy, was he right. That like a bad habit. And they killed her brother real quick so he can come back and be Craven. Because
the priorities, like everyone's favorite Spider-Man villain.
Oh my god.
That was it was go ahead.
That was like the fastest straight to streaming I've ever seen.
Yeah. I still always love when they tricked them to bringing Morbius back into theaters.
Yeah, we were watching Morbius time, and they were like, "Yeah." So he was like, "Really? Okay." And they brought it back.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Like that's like we let the people in charge of these companies dictate our financial future and essentially just our lives. Yeah, and we put them in charge, and every now and then. Something like that happens. You're like, these guys are idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They got tricked into re-releasing the worst fucking movie.
Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun.
That was good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. It was like Occupy Wall Street. Like they got together and did the whole like Reddit thing to spruce up GameStop.
Yeah.
Those guys just say, hey, let's do something else. We're gonna screw Sony this week.
Yeah. Bravo if you're out there listening. That was an incredible show.
Epic.
Man. So, what are some other things that were interesting that I noticed effects wise was just The set was really the crystal towers that they had.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that was like McDonald's play place level of like foam rubber, like with hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they saved a lot of money. They just went down to the shut down McDonald's. Like, can we use this tonight? To put some black tarp and some smoke machine. And we'll be good.
Also,
that's why we did it. Save money.
Yeah. Beardless Riker has always creeped me the fuck out.
Right?
Beardless Riker. I remember as a kid, initially thinking with the beard and occasionally catching an older episode. Because like I was watching these overseas in Germany. I don't think they were playing sequentially.
No.
And so, but I would catch him like without his beard, and it's like that's jarring. I don't like it.
Yeah, especially he had this weird like clef.
Yeah, the clef, dude.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, just want to fill it in, like just.
Yeah. Can you take a little bit off the Ferengi ear and just put that?
Yeah, just put it in and smoothing it out and then paint it. Then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, again, some of the rougher shots of Michael Dorn as Worf, as a kid, it looked fucking flawless to me.
Right.
And like I looked and I was like, that thing is on a crooked today.
Yeah. And what's up with Worf always getting his ass handed to him? Like he's supposed to be this badass Klingon, but like
badass, yeah.
He's always getting sauced. Like Data sauced him, Barrel sauced him.
He's always because I guess like I've read like you can write yourself into a corner like that as if you have like on a cast like on a ensemble cast, if one guy's like the badass, you gotta constantly show that the new bad is worth like being scared of by having to kick that guy's ass. But after like a few seasons, it's like this guy's never won a fucking fight.
Yeah, this guy's not badass at all. Like I think doesn't his ex-wife like sauce him too? I think it's like Worf, can you win one? Oh my god.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about the Ferengi appearance? I just remembered this. When I was like in theater arts class, when I was in high school.
Yeah.
We had to prepare these little monologues, and this kid who's a Star Trek kid read a page from like this, like I don't know if it's canon, but it's like the official race book of the Ferengis.
Yeah,
like,
the books of acquisition.
Yeah. There you go. And so it was like they used to be these like beautiful creatures with like long flowing hair and beautiful feathers, but they met another beautiful race on the planet. And they met some other race, and they bargained them back and forth, and they ran out of money, and they started bargaining like their body parts. So by the time it was all over, they had won all the money, but they gave away all their good looking shit.
And that's why the women are naked.
Yeah. That was what I remember from Deep Space Nine. Was they had like I don't know if it was a multi-series arc or just one episode, but it was the two guys. Is it Quark? What the hell's name?
Quark and Rom.
Yeah. And like they bump into their mom or whatever, and she's like, "Hey, wearing clothing," and they're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And then also she's been running like a little business and making some profit, and Quark is like fucking incensed about that. Like,
he loses.
I remember that specifically from that one, but that was. Do they make any more appearances throughout the first season, or is that kind of like it's a little taste of the Ferengi?
It's a little taste in TNG, but in Deep Space Nine, they're out the whole series, all 7 seasons. And the arc I think that was the greatest was Nog, Rom's son, and Rom, because they end up running the show in the end. Like Rom is the head of the Ferengi Empire, or society. And then Nog goes all the way up to captain at some point, not in the show, but like in post after the show.
Oh wow,
yeah, he goes really far.
So I think you probably know more about this than I would. What was the we obviously we look back on this now, we laugh at some certain stuff. What was like the fan reaction of like this first outing of the Ferengi back?
Like, they ate it up. They were like, "What's up with the?" But some people even called it like they put the flying monkeys of Wizard of Oz in Star Trek. It just doesn't fit. But you did mention Armin Sherman, so I'm going to bring this one up. This is his first time as a Ferengi, and his second time on TNG. He was just the silver-faced dude in a box.
Word.
When Diana Troy's mom shows up, Roxana, when she shows up on the Enterprise to mess with Captain Picard, Armin Sherman is the face in the box, and this was his first full role as a Ferengi. And he said that he did Deep Space Nine to redeem this because that was such a weird setup for Ferengi. Yeah.
That's like his face is very recognizable as like that's like the face of Ferengi.
Right?
This guy. Have you ever heard anything like from behind the scenes about what that makeup was like? As I assume it's like a helmet, and they have to like
it's prosthetic foam prosthetics and rubber.
Oh, wow.
Those guys get like, we spoke with Ethan Phillips, who was he was the mad scientist Ferengi in a later episode in TNG, like season 2, which was still kind of weird. But he said it was like the big joke was, oh, you've got my teeth. Like they would always like miss their teeth.
Yeah,
because they had like these weird, like if you can see it,
they
had these weird sharp teeth. Yeah.
And
as time went on, they made the teeth worse. So if you look at the Deep Space Nine Ferengi, the teeth are like yellowy, but in this they're clearly like white and bright. So I think it was he said that he actually had Max Grodenchek, who's played Roms. He had his teeth. He's like, "Oh, Max, I have your teeth," and it was like 20 years later.
That's what's up.
Yeah, those guys get there before everybody else. Worf, the Ferengi, anybody that's like in extreme prosthetics, get there like 4 a.m. They have a 4 a.m. call, and then they got to go and get all that stuff put on them, and they're there before anybody else, and it is ridiculous. So,
that's crazy, man. It's always like I'm always like so like I guess like not I have a lot of respect for when you see people on a TV show, because to me I'm like probably as like when it comes to acting, that's probably the thing closest to like just a job.
Yeah,
like, a TV show, you show up every day, it's the same people, you go to the same spot. Pardon me, but like so like when I see that, because I work in construction, and like I hear people like just kind of like, you know, if something comes up or whatever, and they're like shitting on actors, which is fine, go right ahead. But they'll be like, oh, those guys don't even do anything, or they'll hear, you know, they'll like some news story will come up where it's like some guy like refused to go back for another season unless they like did catering, and they're like, oh my god, what like an elitist guy. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, like you're going at 4 a.m. every morning, they're fucking making you look like a Ferengi, you know. Also you got to bring your own lunch. It's like, no, where do I go? Damn it, like that's like a job at that point. Like
exactly. I want some damn catering. I want a burger, cheese, and all that.
Oh
shit.
yeah. The few times in my career I've found myself like in proximity of a craft services table, I did work, bro.
I was a background actor once on. I did a commercial, and the thing I remember most, even though it's like I did it with my ex-girlfriend too. The thing I remember most from the whole ordeal was like they had these wraps. I don't know what it was, but it was like lamb or something. It must have been like,
hell yeah.
Oh, it was like lamb and olives. It was so good. And like, you know, here we are 20 years later. I'm like, oh man, I wish they would call me back so I can get some more of that. Instead of going like, where did you guys get this from? You know, like,
you're like calling the production studio. You're like, this is gonna sound crazy. Do you remember who catered that day in 2007?
Yeah, exactly. Because it was 2007, and you guys had these amazing wraps. So you don't remember the shoot? No, I got paid and I appreciate it. But
I don't know what the fucking show was. Yeah, it was like some iconic show. You're like, it was the series finale of Lost, sir. You're like, whatever.
Imagine if I was just chilling.
Oh man, dude, there was a church camp here in Austin that I went to like in 8th grade and 9th grade, I think. Like I went there for 2 years, and it was on called Highland Lakes. It was right around the Lake Travis here in Austin, and they had like in their like little cafeteria area, they had this like random blue drink like that was on the soda fountain, and they had no name or like a company. It was just like a blue Kool-Aid type drink. And me and my boy that I still keep in touch with, we always talk. We're like, that shit was so fucking delicious. I was gonna like go back to the church camp, and they're like, oh, you were dedicating your life to Christ? Like, no, not at all. I was actually. Do you guys remember in the late 90s you were serving a blue drink? Yeah.
Oh, the Jesus juice. Yeah. So Michael Jackson took it from us.
Yeah, we drink it. We get real sleepy. Our youth minister would give us a massage. Yeah. Hey, he's not around. He's not around, is he?
No, we had to get rid of him. We got to get rid of him.
Good, that's probably for the best. You know.
Man.
I would definitely listen to a podcast about you trying to track down that fucking rap.
Yeah.
And you just you're like, this is a weird mystery, and I'm going to try to solve it. You would have a listener right here.
Yeah, I'll probably do it. I've got 5 other podcasts. Don't be surprised. Yeah. The greatest escape, the greatest mission of my life as a fat kid, getting that rap from 10 years ago.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, man. Let me know how that pans out.
Yeah, no doubt. If you're listening to us for the first time, we appreciate you coming by. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe this podcast so that we can grow. And liking this podcast is free. And subscribing it, you're not going to believe this, it's also free. And it does so much for us and the algorithm to kind of push us into the realm of other Star Trek podcasts, which there are way too many. As a matter of fact, we're going to go into redeeming features and hear from some of our friends of the pod who are also Star Trek podcasters.
Nice.
All right, here we go. Redeeming features. All right. Our old redeeming features actually comes from this episode. It was that whole part where he picks up, and I literally found these again because I had my these little guys. He goes, he takes it, he tastes it. It looks like gold. It tastes like gold because it is gold.
It's like that was the part that was somehow more bizarre to me. They'd be like, looks like gold, tastes like gold. He goes, it is gold. I was like, why is it gold?
Yeah, right. It was like, shouldn't it be like copper?
Yeah, that doesn't need to be good. That was the part that threw. It is gold. God damn it, give me that.
Give me that, and it doesn't belong to you. It's mine.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. These guys are weird.
Everybody else gets space communism. I get space capitalism.
Really quick shout out to the synthetic ensign once again for that wonderful new version of the theme that is copyright free, baby. Yeah. So big shout out to you. We appreciate you every time. Redeeming features for me, it had to have been how ferocious the Ferengi were for like 5 minutes in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they literally had everybody. But then like the funniest shit is like, okay, when Picard's like, all right, Riker, you go down there and you take care of those Ferengi. And then Riker's like, with pleasure, sir. And he goes down and, it's just, you just see Geordi, Riker, and Data. And you're like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Tasha Yar pops up and then Worf pops up. It's like, wait a minute. I don't remember. Like, the away party got huge. It's like half the main cast.
Worf was like, I got to get my ass kicked again. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. And literally, he does get his ass kicked again. Yeah, I just love how campy this was, and it was such a perfect filler episode because you kind of like got more in tune with Data with the whole Chinese finger cuff, which has a totally different meaning nowadays.
Yeah.
My girl, she got Chinese finger cuff. No. But it was just like everything just kind of came back to it being like a growth of the characters because you saw like the innocence of Data, which was kind of cute.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then you got like Geordi, you saw how amazing his path of pseudoscience was, that quasi science. If we charge the disruptors and do this, and then we paticles and go to warp 9, it'll boost him. And it was just
I was thinking how I love the idea that they came up with was like, hey, why don't we gun it? Riker looked at the engine. He goes, wait a minute. He goes, I know what you're thinking. Why don't we just accelerate?
Let's go really, really fast. Top speed. Get us out of this predicament.
Well, because in my head, that came and I'm like, no, that wouldn't be a good idea. Clearly, they would have thought about that. And it's like, no, what if we just maybe we try to apply the gas. Let's do that. I chuckled now that you say that, and even watching it again, I still didn't get it like that. I was like, the warp 7. Then you're like, oh shit, no, you're right. He just said, why don't you just hit the gas really fast and then bump the other ship? How about we just get the fuck out of here?
Oh my god, let's just get out, man.
Yeah, I heard that in the initial scripts, for a lot of that Geordi LaForge dialogue, it would just say technobabble, and they would kind of like throw some shit together on the fly. I've read that before, or I probably touched it up in later renditions of the script. Yeah, but it would just say Geordi technobabbles for this many lines. And then I believe it.
Yeah, my co-host would know for sure. Actually, a couple of people in the comments would know. I know my Figure Universe, Joannis. Oh, Holly Mack, what's going on? And Greg Vorb. Maybe you guys know, is that how the setup was? Let us know. We're going to be jumping into the aftermath pretty soon. And you guys can correct our boy Pat, or, let him know he's right. Either way. Yeah. Also, Jeff Howell. Jeff Howell, I'm going to skip. We're going to go right to Jeff. Accurate. There you go, Pat, baby. You were right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like when I lack in like like knowledge of
I
watching
concur.
every episode. I make up in having just watched a ton of behind the scenes footage for shit before. Like,
Yeah, that makes it more fun. You know how
Yeah.
it's made before the
yeah.
before the it's like getting a taste of the pot before the soup's ready. You know.
Yeah, or just like I remember as a kid, like I saw that on some like behind the scenes thing, and it always kind of stuck with me. But yeah, Techno Babble. That's what's up.
I loved going into, because I've done a lot of conventions. I've done like 6 of them now, including Vegas.
Yeah.
And sitting and listening to these panels, I remember the one thing was like, they would always, do you remember that time we got yelled at by the producer because I put that thing in? It's like they would mess with each other and like just mess around on the set so bad that when Deep Space Nine came out, it was like, all right, no fucking around. You guys get your lines straight. No goofs, no laughs. You just get like, God,
yeah. That was another thing that was fun watching this, because again, as I keep stating, as a kid, I was in awe of this show. It was like I was like, oh shit, this is so serious, like deep sci-fi. And now that I'm like older a little bit, I'm like, oh, these guys were all young actors. They're probably having a good time. As we're watching it, it's like feeling the vibe. I was like, they all do have really good chemistry with each other.
They do.
Like that's yeah,
they do. And then some of them did stuff together before, like Data and what's his name?
Brent Spiner.
Brent Spiner, yeah. He worked with quite a bit of different shows. And then everybody knew Patrick Stewart because he had done I, Claudius. Before. So everybody was like, "Oh, Patrick Stewart." Very.
I read that if I'd heard the mistaken, that was kind of like the gravitas. They were like, "Oh shit, we got this like actor to do this."
Yeah, that was the big deal. It was like a serious moment for them. So they're like, "All right, we better get it together." And then he was even like, "We're a professional actors," and then like they broke him. And then once they broke him, it was just like a fucking laugh fest throughout the whole show.
I would imagine like as a stage manager, it's like DEFCON 4, like they broke Stewart. The dam is open. Like there's no order on set now.
Exactly.
Patrick Stewart has now entered the lollygags.
And then like I see all these like videos and photos of him and Ian McKellen like running around New York City, like goofing off, him dressed like a woman, him in a lobster. Like in a ball pin, dressed like a lobster, and it's like, oh wow, they brook him so bad. It like
There's still, I love him on American Dad. He fucking is hilarious.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but the fact that wait, Ian McKellen's still alive, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
correct. Okay, because I see photos come out. Like those guys are still cutting up, man. They're still having fun, and I like that.
In fact, here's a fun fact: Ian McKellen got on stage and sang with Oasis, I think it was. He like did a whole set with Oasis.
Oh wow, dude!
Yeah, so he's very alive.
Yeah, to have that much energy, that's stuff. I can only hope.
Yeah, if I'm 80 and I'm running around like that, life is good.
Yeah. If I'm doing shows with Oasis at 80, I made some right decisions.
Yeah, exactly. I did the right thing, whether it was the cocaine or the.
I just got to look up Oasis, make sure they're still alive. And
yeah. Imagine, I can see that. Pat's Royce opens up for us.
Yeah. I'm just doing like my Mick Jagger cocaine walk.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. One of the biggest redeeming features to me again is what they were trying to portray with the Ferengi. I thought that was great. If you watch the Ultra edition like Pat did, you'll see how wonderful the ships look and how the effects look amazing.
The first shot of the Ferengi ship was I was like, damn, that definitely made me kind of like at least on the Paramount Plus version.
Yeah, it looked dope. You were like, wow, this is amazing. And then when you go back and then you see this version, you're like, oh, wait a minute. But one of the best things about classic Star Trek is when everything's resolved in one episode and they kind of like go in that meeting room and they're like, we figured it out. Everything's good. But that necromancer that comes out that's been dead for like I think it was like 3,000 years or just sleeping or whatever. And he just like, they were like, all right, you got Picard, you got Riker and Geordi and Data. Like, we're going to figure this out and we're going to get out of here. And they spent all this time, this is the whole, let's just punch it really fast. And then Tim comes at the end. Says, I am a necromancer. My name is Tim.
Yeah.
I thought you should go, Riker. I'd like to know more about this Sin Tzu. And he goes,
yeah.
He just raises his hands. He's like, oh, we're free, sir. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's done. Yeah. That was very interesting. I also think, when again talk about how like the changes, how they write TV now. It's like, yeah, something getting wrapped up in one episode. You never see that. That doesn't exist.
No.
Or like, yeah, shows aren't even made like that anymore. And so it all wrapped up in one episode. But you do kind of see how like that does come across that can be hokey sometimes, because you're just like, hold on, this guy's like a 3 million year old necromancer. He's back from the dead, and now he's just like, tell me more about your philosopher friends. And it's like,
yeah,
for sure, that's just the side swipe, you know.
Yeah, and then it just walks off, and they just leave. It's like, okay, we're good now.
Oh, so here's like again, I'm getting some of my nerd questions out.
Yeah.
Are the star dates sequential, or like do those make sense? Is there some order to them?
There is a formula for that, and I know it starts with like the month. So like they said 4 blah 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 blah, that means it's in April, and then like the rest of the numbers, there is a sequential. I don't know it. Again, if you guys want to lean to the guys in the chat room, if you guys know the sequence, let me know.
I was making myself laugh. I was walking around the apartment. I was just doing. I'm a comedian through and through. I was doing bits in the fucking crib by myself. But like, I was like going, and I was like, star date this. I was like, what's the star date? Well, I couldn't tell you. You wouldn't even understand it.
Yes, 8675309. I met Jenny.
It's like August 6th. Like, well, to you, it's August 6th. To my evolved brain, I need more numbers in there.
Yeah. Jeff would know. All right, we're gonna hop into. So we're not doing the Wheel of Agony.
Okay.
But I do love how it looks. So I'm just gonna spin it. I'm not gonna spin the wheel, but I'm gonna play the bumper because that shit is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool as hell.
Yeah. Good shit. That's good shit.
That is great shit. I love it. Yeah, we're gonna go with Into the Aftermath. Go ahead.
I love how the old Klingons, like the Klingons, and like when you go to the original series, and they were just like Puerto Rican dudes.
Hey, Bill, get in there. Put this Fu Manchu mustache on you. Call it. All right, let's hop into Aftermath. Let's talk with all our friends in the chat.
We were just talking about you. Everybody hates you. Congratulations.
I want to talk about getting a lot of money for doing a little. Like she was like, "Hey, you want me to be in your movie? I got an Academy Award, damn it! You better pay me." And they were like, "All right, we can't do a show anymore. Let's just make it a one-off, and that's it."
Yeah.
And it was panned, but we did get to interview the guy who was in it, the bad guy. So works for us.
What's up? Hell yeah!
Yeah, we got to interview Joe Pingway, so we'll take that. That guy was awesome. A good Canadian fellow up in the good area of Star Trek. All right, so let's go into the comments. I got a lot of friends out here today, so we're gonna go to our boy. So this is Damon J. He is a current background actor in Strange New Worlds. He was actually in Section 31. He's been on the show quite a few times, so thank God it's Friday from the moons of Ja'al and the Terran Empire, because he was in 2 of those Star Trek iterations. Guest is stuck in the transporter buffer. Yeah, he was.
Although, if my knowledge is correct, I'm an entirely new set of atoms and molecules, so you can't blame me. You gotta blame the guy.
Yeah, he's
I
dead.
Didn't do that. I just sprung into existence. So.
I have a lot to say about this episode, and I thought it was going to be bad. He said, but it's not bad, which I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Of course, that's My Figure Universe is one of our great friends over in the ether. Wow. And he called in while we were waiting for your arrival, and we had a nice chat about it. He brought us some good points. So Joanna says his daughter looked horrified for a second, and that's in referral to Jason Roy Gaston, our situation co-host, our normal co-host, who is on. He just came back from the infamous Casa Bonita. So yeah. I don't know how far that is from you, but I think it's in Colorado.
Yeah, it's a Colorado. Yeah, it'd be a day or so's trip. But
I think it's the same for him. You guys probably are neighbors and don't know it.
Yeah. He lives in Austin, right?
No, he's in one of those Sands.
San Antonio.
Yeah, I think San Antonio. Yeah.
Okay. There's a few of them. Yeah, we got a couple. There's no shortage of them.
Yeah. He's in one of the Sands, and he just drove all the way to Casa Bonita because of the South Park episode.
Yeah. It's great. I would love to go there at some point.
Well, yeah, me too. I would just because I want to go down the slide, just like Cartman did. You know?
More sopapillas, please.
So Jason did his rant from his car, graced us with his presence, and gave his whole spiel on this. And this is the second time that he escaped the show because of a bad episode. First, it was the bad movie Star Trek Into Darkness, where we called back our original co-host all the way from Australia to step in, and he avoided it. And the first time he did it was for Star Trek, one of the sleeper one, Insurrection, the one where put everybody to sleep. It was like a long episode. He went all the way to Egypt. He almost got. He's like, I'm out. I'm going to Egypt.
I can't do the episode. I am in Egypt.
I am in Egypt. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Yeah. So, his daughter was in the backseat. Greg Vorab said, this episode was one of the best examples of unintentionally funny episodes of Star Trek. Yeah, unintentionally.
Yeah, there was the parts that really had me laughing was Geordie's. When they solved the step on the gas problem, and Jordan goes, "Yeah, all right." Like, damn. That's they got less cool as the future went on, but Then also was the I was again talking about like episodes get wrapped up in a single episode, and those little plot arcs was they had the decision: should we fight? Should we not fight? Should we make this decision to do it or not? And they get down there, and just so happens the fucking space wizard is like, the riddle is, do you fight or not fight? And it's like, oh, the moral of the show. How about that?
We got a morals? Yeah.
Oh, the thing that him and Picard were talking about earlier. That happened.
Yeah, everything comes back to play. Wow, this is very well. It's a circle of life here.
Yeah.
I love how Homeboy did like all the kung fu with the sword. And then when at Riker, and Riker didn't even flinch. He was like,
fucking flinch, baby. Yeah. It was like, bro, that's Riker for you, man. Also, again, when I was a kid, I would have been like, that's so fucking cool. You
see the way he put it in front of the move, man. Oh my God. My freaking university put up the phone number and I'll call in ready. Definitely defend this episode, which he did.
Hell yeah.
Well done. John Seymour, the hours of comics is upon us. Yes, you are a comedian.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in a little bit. On Steam, the game is current. Oh, look, it's a picture of me and my co-host in the studio. Nice. Thanks, Johannes.
Oh, that's cool out, man.
Yeah, that's from Trek Long Island this last summer. Well, it's still summer, so this last June to be more specific.
Yeah.
You can buy the game for the Captain's Edition for $30. That'll be cool. Well, it's on sale a couple of weeks ago. I got a lot cheaper, but I'd still say it's either way, it's worth the money.
Dude, our Star Trek games, I know Star Wars has some pretty successful games.
Yeah.
Are Star Trek games like beloved or like I know nothing about that.
Yeah, no, the online games are beloved. Like Star Trek Online and the one he's talking about. Those are really loved, but they're like standalone games for the Xbox, trash. Like I was playing because I thought for sure Star Trek Prodigy, welcome Pat. I thought for sure Star Trek Prodigy gaming would kind of boost the channel with some numbers because gaming was a really big thing. No, nobody gave two shits. And there was like 5 people that watched this. Like, all right, I'm not doing this.
Dude, I just had a core memory unlock. So you look when you're a kid, would you ever like tell like a grandiose lie to impress another kid when you're a kid? I think all kids do that.
Oh yeah, man, that's part of life.
Yeah, so I made up a Star Trek game that I said I had. I was like, my dad, we lived in Germany, so you were like isolated from a lot of American shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude, my dad's, my uncle, he like sent me this fucking, he sent my dad this Star Trek game, and we put it on the computer, and I just like made up what I thought would be a cool Star Trek game. And my friend was like, holy shit, that's so fucking cool. Can I come over and play it? I was like, probably not, dude.
You don't speak German. You can't play.
Yeah. It's unreleased. It's a beta version. The whole thing's in German. So I told it. I spent an afternoon like telling this huge, like made up game to this kid about a Star Trek game, and he was like, "Can I come over?" And I was like, "No, I actually can't have anybody."
Yeah, can't have people over here. Everybody's got measles. All right. We don't believe in vaccines.
Yeah, I'm still friends with that kid. I wonder if he ever figured out I was lying about that.
Well, he will know now. I'm sure he's watching this show.
Right? Is Lie, Cheat, and Steal a Tool reference? It is not. It is just. I wanted to do a true crime podcast, but not about murder. I wanted to do a scam artist podcast. I was trying to think of some slick shit, and I just everybody's like, "Oh, is it an Eddie Guerrero reference?" I've got that.
Yeah, a lot of my friends said that. They were like,
"Oh." Think about it till afterwards. I was just like, "Oh yeah, that is Eddie Guerrero's thing." I just knew that like Lie, Cheat, and Steal was like it was in the parlance. That's the thing that people say.
Yeah,
and so I just said, "Fuck it, Lie, Cheat, and Steal," and we moved forward. We had one guy like Eddie Guerrero like super fan on Twitter that was like, "This is unconscionable."
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was just like, "I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you."
Well, too bad we're not changing it.
yeah. I guess I'm lying, cheating, and stealing. Oh, hey,
Right. Oh.
heel turn. I'm doing a fucking heel turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just sweet chin music and that's it. You know?
Oh, this is a dig for our group. So Greg Rorob is the former co-host and I think just now reoccurring guest of the Undiscovered Pod, which is now run by Jeff, who had all the deep information for Star Trek. He and My Figure Universe know the nose, but yeah, he says that John Seymour leaves a group text but supports where it counts. And Jessica Poo says, "Good job, Joe, and wearing your glasses." Yeah, so
hell yeah.
I have a thing about because like these glasses and these headphones they push.
Yeah.
I got cheaper headphones from Temu. They're like those look just like those Apple iPod headphones. So they got to be good, right? This is the cheapest shits I ever bought, man. Very Temu.
Yeah,
but it doesn't hurt my head as less, so it all works. So thanks, Jessica. I appreciate that. And Holly Mack, our patron, thank you so much. So good to see you. And Johannes, of course, good to see you. Our other patron, along with Chris Katulka, he is our patron, and Joe Saporito and Denise, all those peeps. What's up? My Figure Universe. That's right, Jessica. We're happy with Joe wears his glasses. Yes, because I can read. And they're like, we're probably like, is Joe Manley the R word? You know, I don't read everything right now.
Yeah, you're like, this is from my father underwear. Thanks so much.
Exactly. Or what I sometimes what I do because I have a Mac, so like I just I blow up the screen so I can read it and make it easier for myself. But then I can't push the buttons for all the fun little bumpers. People can tell because I'm like, and then sometimes I'll like drop out of the show because I didn't wear my glasses.
I've had days where like I go to my construction job and I won't put my contacts in because every now and then I'm just like I'm too irritated. Sometimes I forget. I'll just like leave the house and I'll be on the road and I'll be like, oh, I don't have my fucking contacts in. I can't see anything. But I've noticed that when I do that, I don't know if this is like this in your glasses. I can't hear anything when I don't have my contacts out because so much of when you hear somebody talk, like I found this out, is your brain, unbeknownst to you, is looking at their mouth.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like so you're picking up a little bit what they're saying from there. I don't have my contacts in. I don't know what the hell anyone's saying. It's the weirdest thing. It feels like the volume's turned down.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe I'm just a fucking weirdo. I don't know.
No. That probably because you need all the sense. Like I know I've lost since COVID. My sense of smell has been real spotty.
Yeah.
And like we got these like scented. I work for a legwear company, and we got these special scented legwear. And they were like, "Does this smell like peppermint to you?" And they put it to me. He's like, "I don't know. I can't tell what anything smells like anymore." But I can smell soup. If you make a soup, I can go, "Oh, you've put leeks in it, and you put small potatoes." But I could like smell that stuff. But like,
as long as you can spell soup, fuck legwear. As long as you can spell soup,
I can smell the soup.
Just nod and go, "Yeah, it smells like peppermint to me." Also, who wants peppermint legwear? I don't want to shit on your company, my bad. That feels like one of those things where like we gotta sell all this nylon. Yeah, like what are we doing?
Let's put peppermint in it.
Yeah, let's put peppermint in it. Scratching legwear.
Yeah, Captain Jim. I'm in the best spot ever. Yeah, I think he's a fan of yours. He's got some fun stuff going on there.
Oh, tight. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah. The Ferengi were dancing around like they were watching a fight in a schoolyard. Oh, yeah, for sure. Armin Shimmerman was the lead Ferengi before being the lead Ferengi was cool. He was two-time lead Ferengi. For me, it was having the VHS tapes of Next Gen. One had a counter in Farpoint, and the other one had the Naked Now / Code of Honor. Yeah, you didn't even get like the DVD used to get 4 at least, but the VHS like maybe you'll get 2, maybe you'll get 1.
Yeah. Those were wild times if you didn't buy the shit on VHS. Is the encounter at Farpoint? I know this one. Is that where they do the Picard maneuver?
Yeah. It's the first episode of Star Trek when they had that. They come across that big wall, and you thought it was a Tholian web, and
okay. That made, I knew there was like some kind of superlative to it, but did they do the Picard maneuver in Encounter at Farpoint?
I'm pretty sure they did. They did the Picard maneuver. I mean, Picard put the maneuver on Beverly. That's for sure.
He was Beverly crushing there.
Exactly. You thought that ghost did you in? Get ready.
I love how they were just completely like paying no attention to Will Wheaton this episode.
No. Shut up, Wesley.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's my brain leaking into the second episode that I watched, which is where that that traveler being could like make them go like a million light years away.
Yeah.
And Wesley saw him. So I'm sorry, I'm skipping to a different episode. That was my
No, but the Picard maneuver is done a few times because he does it on the Farragut because they do like a mock thing with they want to see how the defense of the D is, and they like fight against the Farragut, and then he does the Picard maneuver. So it shows up a few times, and so don't think your brain screwy. It's
okay.
It's peppered across the series.
Yeah. But I was saying with the Will Wheaton thing and the episode I watched after the last Outpost.
Yeah,
they had this character called the Traveler, and he's like makes them go like a million light years away, and they got to get back, and he's phasing in and out when he's doing it at the ship's computer.
Yeah.
And Wesley's the only one that sees it, and so they're just like Riker and Picard are talking. And he's like, "The boy said he did this." He goes, "Well, the boy said he did that." He goes, "My name's Wesley." He goes, "I know." It's essentially totally shut the fuck up.
Yeah. They literally tell him to shut up too. They're like, "Shut up, Wesley."
Yeah.
They stun him so hard in this show. And then what's wild is he becomes one of those travelers. He ends up being that.
That's right. Yeah, because the guy tells me, he goes, "Hey, that kid's got." Because I was watching it, and I was like, "Man, this is some grooming shit going on."
He's like,
they were talking really close. They had met roughly 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, hey, Wesley, you're super mature for your age." I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
Yeah. Why don't you come on my ship? We'll go to the future.
Tell your mom. You didn't tell your mom.
You're gonna tell your mom.
Why does your mom need to know where we're going?
Oh man, Greg Borum says, as a bald man, I don't know if I should be personally offended or not with Picard.
Oh
yeah. The Xindi saga was one of the best things to ever happen to sci-fi, and I stand by this. So that's an Enterprise reference. That's the show with Scott Bakula.
Okay.
Yeah, and then things did get better for the third season of all the shows. That once they get to the third season, they get a lot better.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Enterprise didn't make it to the third season. So
okay.
They didn't make it past the fourth season, so we never really got to get the true roots of it all. Enterprise has got new appreciation on streaming. That's very true. We can actually call in. Yes, you can call in. The number is 347-565-5375. You can call in. You will hear the magical world of my phone. Everybody probably heard my phone ringtone. I should probably turn into something more Star Trek because maybe Apple will give me a
I had an awful boss who was just like really bad at her job one time, and we worked in sales, and we had to we did business to business sales for AT&T, and we'd had to give her number out to clients and customers.
Oh,
and people would just be like, this was like in 2009, they would call her. It was that fucking Drake and Eminem song that it may not mean nothing to y'all. Understand that was the fucking ringback sound. I remember when we found that out about her because we were already she was already fucking up. And she'd sent us to the wrong training one day, one state over in Massachusetts. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, let me call this lady. So we call her work phone, the one that we've been giving to all our clients.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll let y'all know. And I put it up. I was sitting there. And it's like, I may not mean nothing to y'all. And I was like, no. Imagine calling about your $14,000 a month phone bill because you have a huge company, and the lady's thing is a fucking Drake ringback.
That is hilarious. I know she was mad about that Kendrick Lamar song. Once that
yeah, I can only imagine that lady.
Yeah, probably lost it.
Yeah, she probably ruined her life long before that, though. I'd imagine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen her since 2010, but I hope she's.
Oh man.
I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah, she's either doing very well and started her own record label, or she's doing very bad. She's on meth. Hello, Captain Jim. We're gonna go to My Figure Universe. The world can always use more Star Trek podcasts. Okay,
dude, I love.
There's already thousands of them. What's up?
I love stumbling into the deep fandom pages on YouTube.
Yeah.
I got YouTube Premium because I listen to so much shit at work. I burned through all my podcasts. I burned through my audiobooks. So I started listening to YouTube. And all the Sopranos fan pages I found, just all the fan pages you can find in support of certain fandoms. I love that shit. I love the deep universes of that.
Yeah, there's a ton of us. There's a ton of Star Trek podcasts, but ours is more fun. So keep coming back to the Captain Squadron. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and join our Patreon. $2.99 to start out.
the redeeming features that they had in the
Yeah,
whips. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Those whips lit up instead of like having fingers. It was like, what you know what I mean? But
that shot of them when they had first found Jordy,
yeah,
and they're talking, and they did that quick over the shoulder shot where you see them like creeping up to the shadows with the whip.
Yeah,
that was like
was
a really
cool.
menacing. Yeah, that was a very menacing shot. Like
was.
You said, they definitely looked badass.
Yeah, when shame it turned into the flying monkeys at the end.
Yeah.
I think he was expecting the gold to be Latinum.
Yeah, right.
That's right. Good Holly Mack.
Yeah.
Gold press Latinum.
Isn't that what the homeboy Quark's mom, her profit that she made was like 2 bars of Latinum, and the brother was trying to like soften the blow. Oh, 2 bars of Latinum?
Yeah. Gold press Latinum is the currency of space. Gold is a better conductor than copper. Oh, that's why they're gold, because you can conduct the thing.
Yep.
They're basically, remember the sprint phones, the chirping sprint phones?
Yeah.
That's what that was, like all that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm an electrician. I should know that. I'm over here. I'm like, why is it gold? Don't hire me to do shit.
I think Ioannis is also an electrician, so there you go.
Oh, word. It's like, was the IBW?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah,
we'll see. Ioannis, let us know.
Hey,
Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Good to see you, my friend. He's the new head of Undiscovered Pod. My freaking universe says, not to beat a dead horse, but you want to really redeem anything about this episode, play the game. He's really on about that game. We're going to download the game for sure. I'm going to do it because I think I get a freebie on my Xbox. Accurate, yes. Okay, Ioannis says, with how some of the stuff was thrown together, knowing that some of it was really supposed to mean later, it was definitely impromptu and not scripted. That's what all the Ferengi, because they started to like build their universe.
Yeah.
Being like traders and everything. And then everybody was afraid of Avery Brooks in Deep Space Nine, so that's why they didn't play around too much.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
That was the guy that played Cisco, right?
Yeah, Cisco. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would laugh around that man.
No, that's Hudson Hawk, dude. Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah. I would not lollygag around that gentleman like that.
No, I won't lollygag at all.
I would be on P's and Q's around that guy.
Exactly. I've heard on Deep Space Nine, a lot of people did not want to mess up their lines because they knew Avery Brooks wanted perfection. Damn, Avery Brooks sounds like no joke, mofo. He quit acting and doing conventions because he felt that actors got paid way too much and school teachers get nothing.
Damn, yo, I mean, like that. I hate one of those like, cliche people that like shits on actors, but that's it. I mean, that's a good point. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be like, I'll be out of here, but I don't think he changed anything, but good for him.
Nice protest, but it was a one-man protest, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see Denzel doing that.
Yeah. Come on, guys, we're all walking out. Let's go.
Who's with me?
Yeah.
Nobody. All right. One of the reasons Berman hated Beltran is because he called line constantly. So line is like when they forgot their line.
Yeah. So Berman and Beltran, who were they?
Berman was the head of Star Trek 90s. He was like the what's that guy from Marvel Universe? His name slips my mind right now. The Kevin Feige. He was the Kevin Feige of Star Trek. So that's who that was. And I think you froze. Yes, he did. So Jeff knows what's up. I remember hearing that. Oh, let's see. Yeah, you disappeared. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. Let's see if we can. Oh, well, it's 10 o'clock. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in the Captain's Quadrant. Be sure to go check out Pat Soroyce and the Lie, Cheat, and Steal podcast. It is absolutely hilarious and fantastic. Yeah, and we will see you next time. Live long and prosper.
We honor our Patreons.
Hollymac79, Johannes Borg, Chris Katulka, Denise Hill.
You've made it through the Agony Booth, a Captain's Quadrant show. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you share this video with 5 people will also be in agony. Join us every Friday at 9 p.m. EST for more live shows, including Wormholes, Section 31 and a half, because we have questions, and at the movies.